Me and Nikki are going shopping for ice fishing gear, so you guys have ideas of what to get this ice fishing season. This is filmed November 25th. Prices will change, items may change, but overall this is going to be a great resource on items we think are going to be best for you this season and seasons to come. Come along with us, let's go shopping. We are filming at L&M. I know they're going to have the things that we need, both higher ticket items and affordable items that will fit in your budget. Okay, so we are going to be doing this by having an affordable cart and a premium cart. This cart's gonna be our premium cart. Items I think are great quality, top end. My experience with them is great and I want you guys to experience it too, but they're expensive. This is gonna be the bargain if you're new to ice fishing or you just wanna upgrade some gear but you don't have an endless budget. This is going to be your bargain bin here, and we're gonna go over the final prices on both of these at the end of this video, so be sure to stay tuned. So I've done a few videos on augers in the past, and I just wanna go over with you guys kind of why I choose not to use a drill. I am not a fan of using a drill bit ever. I had lots of friends and family when the K-drill came out that had bought it and had a poor experience, mainly because they used their drill for other things and therefore they're kind of already used and wear out really quickly on the ice. By the time you're done upgrading your drill, getting your drill plate, and then getting the actual bit, you could have gotten a premium dedicated auger that's going to have better battery juice, be smoother, last longer. So that is always going to be my recommendation. So they have these here. I would not invest in that. What I would invest in if you're on a budget is the StrikeMaster 24V. I have had my issues with it. I've been very vocal about, but at this price point, it is so hard to beat. It's $299. This is going to be one of the best purchases you can make. Although I recommend buying an extra battery, which is going to up your price for a lot of new anglers, especially during early ice, or just people on the weekend with their hard house, this is gonna be the perfect option for you. So if you guys are just shopping for premium, budget doesn't matter, I highly recommend the Ion Alpha Plus. I've been very vocal about how much I've loved this auger. I've used Ion in the past, hated it. When this came out, I paid full price for it because it made that much of a difference. It's very, very light, barely heavier than the 24V. The battery lasts a really long time, and it's one of the smoothest augers I've had that does exceptionally well in thick, tough ice up north. Think Manitoba, Lake of the Woods. This is gonna be your best friend. With that said, it is $600 with tax, so it's going to be double the 24V.
My favorite auger is the Eskimo E40. I paid full price for it, but it did come with a free battery last Black Friday. But it's super light and it's great for hole hopping. $529.
So another option for you guys was not my auger of choice, but Nikki's had a year of experience with it.
I love it.
A couple weeks, so something to think about. All right, and I know a lot of people are like, well, you could use a hand auger and it would be even cheaper. I just want to be, fully transparent. If I had to use a hand auger and I had no flasher, I wouldn't be ice fishing. So these are the things I recommend on a budget for you guys to have a really good modern day ice fishing experience, at a bargain. Like I mentioned, an auger is a must, an electric auger is a must for me, and so is electronics. It's part of the experience. The bargain option I'm gonna recommend is a Markham M1. I really do think at $250 it's tough to beat. If you guys are looking to just start ice fishing, you don't have a lot of money, you're going to get that awesome flasher experience with that one. So that is going to be our bargain option. Now let's talk about what I think is the best for people that just wanna have the best of the best on the ice. My two recommendations, I've used the FLX 30. I've heard a lot of people that have the 30 wish they had the 28. You can't beat Vexilar for durability, so if you just want something you can throw around that has really great response time, that's going to be a great option for you. Really great target separation. Personally, I've always also loved my LX7 with the lithium shuttle. I'm not even seeing it in some retailers right now, so I'm not sure that's even an option to get with the lithium shuttle, and also with the price bump with that. For the sake of this, I'm gonna say get the FL28. If you guys have any interest in having history, you like the digital look versus the analog look of the Vexilar units, then I would get the Markham in that case. But for this demonstration, they're gonna be very similar price points. We're gonna go with the FLX 28 as your premium budget. It's going to be a great option for durability. It's analog, it's gonna have a quick response time, and it is a really great flasher for all of you diehards out there.
Personally, I'm gonna go with the Garmin because when you got a sugar daddy at home and price doesn't matter, I'm gonna stare at this thing all day. I have to have something to look at. I like to constantly be moving, or I have to have something to watch. Yes, to constantly entertain me, and this is it.
Hover flip over.
I'll flip over. I just feel like it's a lot easier and more convenient. Put everything in here, flip it open, and we'll just get right to fishing.
Okay, and so with that, I am going to say if you're on a budget It's tough to beat a pop-up tent and then just getting a cheap like sled to go with it. And if you just want the best of the best, easiest to move, obviously having both is ideal. I have both. But also if you were to pick one, I would then get a flip over. A lot of great options, so it depends if you want to accessorize up with an Otter or have something more all-inclusive like the Clam JM series. They're both going to be spendy, but it is tough to beat when you're running gunning having a flip. And then for the premium option, that's going to put us down into some of these larger flip overs they have here. You're looking at almost $1,100 without any of your accessories with the Otter flip over. But out of these two, it'd be tough to beat the extra insulation essentially, and you get a little more space. What I run right now is the JM series. I switched just because I wanted all the accessories to be part of it. And then also I needed a lighter one because after I had my child, I couldn't lift up the Otter anymore alone. Your bargain is going to be a very base level insulated Eskimo pop-up, and you're looking at either the Otter Flip, the Otter Pro Lodge Flip, or the Yukon XT from Clam. For bargain, you guys know I'm a big fan of St. Croix. They have their premier rod and reel combo, which are going to be a great option. Their panfish version of this is actually pretty stiff, so it's going to be the perfect mix of you can get away with, you know, using it as a walleye rod and a panfish rod. It's not going to be great at either, but if you are, you know, on a budget and you just need a good rod and reel because you have a lot of other items to buy, this is going to be a great option. Also, reels, I do work with PC Fun and I highly recommend that you guys check them out. They've got the most affordable reels and the best quality I have found. They gave me some to test this fall and they were fantastic. So don't be afraid to buy, you know, a premier rod by itself and get one of the PC Fun Ice X's. They're going to be an awesome option if you guys are on a budget. So for premium, the best thing you can do is really have multiple rods set up for the multiple types of fishing you're going to do and then have them rigged so you can quickly switch. For the sake of this video, I'm just gonna go over a few of the premium options and throw one in the cart for pricing. What I have here is the Scandic. It's gonna be more middle top line from St. Croix. This is a medium light, so it's gonna be able to do some panfish for you, some larger panfish, a little bit larger panfish spoons, but also be decent at something like walleye fishing. It's gonna be a little soft for that in my opinion, but it is going to work just fine. I would pair this with maybe a little bit more premium reel. PC Fun does have their Lumix. That's gonna be a little heavy, but it's very, very smooth and higher quality. Or get one of their Carbon, like their Carbon X2, which is a really solid ice and open water reel. That's gonna pair well with something a little more premium from St. Croix. What I would get if you had an endless budget is I would get a few of their custom series of rods. One of them is going to be the Outside Eye for outside hopping. I would get one of their spoon rods. I'll have these linked below and probably on the side of the video here. And then I would get their Pan Dancer for panfish, and I would pair them, you know, with the reels that I've mentioned, and I'll have those linked all below so you guys can set it up in a similar way. They don't offer all that here at L&M, but with what they do offer, I would get the Scandic if you are looking for something a little more higher end fishing this year. After you find your rod and reel, then let's look at tackle. You guys can get all of this tackle at Lurnet. Use code Nicole15. You can't go wrong, in my opinion, with spoons for ice fishing and some plain jigs. That's all you're going to need to find success. For spoons, I'm gonna get a little bit larger ones, like 1/8 at the smallest, 3/16 for walleye fishing. I've got a few of the examples right here, some of my favorite. And then for panfish, I'm gonna take some of this and just downsize to 1/16 ounce or smaller, or look at a few of their other options. They've got the Rattle and Quiver spoon, which is one of my favorites. And then also they do sell like a frosty spoon online that I like to use. You don't have to get fancy. These spoons will work on all bodies of water all across the Midwest and Canada. And all you gotta do for panfish is just find 1/1/16 ounce or lower and you're gonna find some success. I also recommend plain jigs. For walleye, I like the Lindy live bait jig because a lot of times I'm using live minnows and that's just got the shorter shank wide gap hook. That's gonna be key. Same thing with sizes there. I'll have that link below. And then also, you can't go wrong with the Lindy tungsten toad. I think I post about this the most. These are just small tungsten jigs that are gonna be key when you are pan fishing. If you are on a budget, I'm gonna recommend getting less of them. Get a couple of your favorite colors. They're gonna get you by all season long. If you have an endless budget, stock up on all your favorite colors. Get yourself extras and get your friends some too. But the same kind of application is gonna go no matter what. You can't go wrong with some spoons tipped with minnows, and you can't go wrong with some very small jigs for panfish and live bait jigs for walleye. As for line, my favorite is always going to be braid. I like a braid and fluorocarbon, you know, mix when walleye fishing or even crappie fishing. So we're going to throw a couple of that in. I don't find any brands to be, you know, especially better than others. I just find that I like the sensitivity of braid, the durability of braid, and no line twists. With that said, pan fishing, I would use mono. If I was absolutely broke but just needed some new line, I'd probably grab the cheapest mono and make it work, and just make sure I do replace it a couple times during the season. So we're gonna grab that. Lighter the fish, lighter the weight, 3 to 4 pound for panfish. And then, you know, walleye fishing, I like to go 8 to 10. So pick whatever brand you guys would like. We're gonna grab a few and throw it in the cart. Also, if you guys want some premium stuff and you went with like the clam option, a cover is gonna cost more unless you have the JM series. So we'll probably throw that in. A lot of times you're gonna need to pay for an extra hitch. It's just gonna depend on what version you're looking for. Again, if you're on a bargain, we're just gonna look for a cheap sled or use one at home. All right, so we do need a heater now for both of our houses. To really enjoy the insulation part of it, you're gonna have to heat it. So for a bargain, I'm going to recommend actually one of these just, I don't know, sunflower tops. That's going to be one of your best ways, because you're gonna need to get a propane tank anyways. And if you really wanna save money, you're gonna want a big 20-pound propane tank. That's gonna be cheapest. And then just pair it with one of these sunflower heaters. These are like $50 right now. Again, you can change at any time, but if you're shopping, it should be somewhat around that area. And then if you want premium, I recommend just a regular buddy heater. I do have the double buddy and it does work great in a big hub, but it takes up so much space in a flip that if I could rebuy all mine, I would actually go with the regular. They're easy to start, super safe, and they do get you really warm in those flips. So we're gonna put those in our carts and keep shopping. Next, I'm gonna talk about transferring, you know, your bait around. If you're on a budget, use whatever bucket you have. That is going to be fine. We're not throwing that in our cart, but if you don't really care about price, you want the best of the best, get an angle. I love mine, I have 3, 13 quarters, plenty good. So we're gonna throw that in the premium cart. So give you guys some ideas on things you should pick up. So if you guys got the flip over on the premium budget, you don't need a chair. If you don't have a lot of budget, although L&M, you know, has a lot of options here, I would recommend just kneeling or using a bucket you have, because that allows you to put money into, you know, your electronics or something like that, that is gonna help you turn over more fish. And then if you do have a premium tent, then explore one of these chair options. Let's talk about outerwear. If you guys are on a budget, wear what you have. Float suits are nice, especially during early ice. They're gonna be safe, they're going to provide an extra level of warmth, but they are a premium item. They have a very high price tag. If budget's not an issue, check out a float suit. This is by DSG Outerwear, made specifically for women. If you guys follow me, you know that I wear this stuff religiously, and we are going to throw that in our premium cart because it does come at a high price tag. But if you can invest in something like that, it's going to provide an extra level of safety. Next is just accessories. We are going to grab a rod case because it's what I do a lot. I'm going to invest in a rod case. If you don't have the budget for it, use a bucket or something you have at home. You're going to save a lot of money and it's going to do the trick. But this part has an endless budget, so we are going to throw one in. I really like a hard case because I'm hard on stuff, and I've really liked the Black Widow I have. In fact, I'm probably going to buy another one this year. They're a decent price, but they're hard, somewhat compact, makes it easy to throw in my flip over and, you know, cruise away when I'm in a hurry and trying to find fish. Of course, we can add little accessories to this cart like ice scoops, rod holders, although sometimes that's built in depending on what house you get. Like, those things are going to add to your experience. We're just gonna leave some of that out of this because we could just keep going and going and going with no budget. But just keep that in mind when you're searching for things, that even a higher quality ice scoop is gonna make a big difference when you're on the ice. All right, so we have 2 carts, premium, budget. We're gonna walk up and yeah, we're gonna check out and see what each one costs. Suit, DSG, 2 rods, but I would do more. Thanks, Nikki, you're so much help. You guys know her from a lot of my fishing videos and social media posts. Between the two, the bargain cart and the higher end, more unlimited budget, we have a very different price point. I'm happy to say that the bargain came to $1,113 with tax. So for about $1,000, you guys can get started ice fishing with really awesome gear, including a flasher and an auger and a heated tent, like making the experience what it should be. Now, if you're looking for upgrades, that's where this one came in. If you're new to fishing, but you're just like, I have an endless budget, that one came to almost $3,800. And I could have kept adding with extra rods and extra reels like we mentioned in the video, but that's gonna be kind of a more premium point where you're gonna have the best flasher, the best rods, a great auger to go and hit the big water in Manitoba and Lake of the Woods. These prices can vary at L&M. Just keep that in mind. They are not set to any of this. This is just a general idea. And be sure to check them out for deals, and then also check them out later in the ice season. I came here and bought a lot of ice gear, you know, towards February and March, and I've got a lot of great deals that way. So keep them in mind for your next ice adventure. and I'll see you guys on the next episode.
Hey, we're gonna give a shout out to Fleet for letting us come in and film at their store. We were just informed that they have some new stores open now in Wisconsin and Michigan, so you gotta go check them out.